Hello, and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, it's the most interesting man in the world, Julian.
What's good? No load time. Obed, good to be with you. Look at the Pac-Man himself.
The Pac-Man himself. Yeah, round and about to chump anything that's
Oh my
that's
gosh, I did
presented.
not mean it like that. I did
Thanks,
not mean it
Joel.
like that.
All right,
Oh, that's it. Cancel the
we're
show.
cancel the show. Joel's been canceled.
Oh my
Joel and I
gosh.
are no longer friends.
I mean,
It's episode final.
I was gonna, let me try and rephrase it. You took the title away from Manny Pacquiao, right? We'll go with that.
Oh, okay. Oh man, let's say that I'm feeling like my computer right now. So it's one of those things that you learn as you go, right? And you make a small tweak on OBS, and now my computer's on fire. It's like just my internet's really. I don't know what happened to my internet, and now my graphics card's like going nuts, and my RAM's non-existent. So hey, we're here.
We're here. We made it.
I'm doing all right, sir. Getting out of the a little cold that I had there over the weekend for some reason was one of those random colds, but busted me up. Couldn't sleep for like 2 days, and feeling much better now though. But I'm here. We're here, man. Make it happen. So what's up, dude?
Yeah, yeah. Nothing too crazy on my end. Trying to right now get through Amazon's Jack Ryan season three. It's really good.
I never got into. I should watch it, right?
It's really good.
Okay.
Amazon, obviously, we saw what they did with Rings of Power, blew me away. What they're doing here with this series, the first season I liked, the second season I thought was okay. And now this last season, bro, so good. The way that, and this has always been the way, right? Tom Clancy's books and stuff always were, was very like parallel of the real world. Obviously, he had a background in United States government, so some of that came into the fictitious writings for sure. And then, of course, we see the adaptations in the games and the movies and all this cool stuff. But no, I think they really have done a good Jack Ryan finally, and obviously 3 seasons now into it. Just a really great time. It's something that I enjoy watching now each night. Now I end my day out with a nice, epic, high quality show at the end of the night. With this, it's really really well done. And Amazon doesn't spare any expense.
So I got a question for you.
Yes,
When
sir.
you watch this sort of thing, do you watch it on the PS5?
No, actually, no. I have a
Okay.
Roku Ultra, one of
Okay.
those 4K device, so I watched on there.
Okay.
But I should try. I should boot it up on the
Okay.
PS5
Because I
because
was gonna ask you if you actually when you watch it at night, you watch it with your headphones, with the.
yeah. Oh, wow. See, that's the other thing, right? I actually do usually watch with headphones, but I've never thought to do it in
Ah.
PS5. That but when I do headphones, I'm just plugging because the Roku has one of those wireless, right?
Oh, you're
With the
playing on
thing
the
you plug
remote,
your
right?
remote,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. You can hear good quality. It's awesome. But no, I didn't think about doing that. But just giving me an idea. I like
Oh, yeah.
that,
Okay.
Obed. I
Okay.
like how you
Just
think.
thinking outside the box here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Without Remorse? The one with Michael B. Jordan on Amazon?
No.
Tom Clancy's
No.
about okay. So so that one, without spoiling, it has a connection to another game that they're going to be adapting into a movie or a series. I'm not exactly sure to be. I think it's a movie. I'm pretty sure it's a movie.
Okay.
And supposedly they're gonna take Jack Ryan and connect them. So they're really building like a Tom Clancy verse on
Oh,
on
okay.
Amazon right now.
Cool.
So it's pretty exciting stuff. But yeah, enjoying it. I won't talk about too much in case you can see it or in case anyone else is seeing it. I have not finished this last season yet. I'm not episode 4, so I'm about halfway through. But so far
Gotcha.
so good.
Cool,
What's
man.
up with you, man?
Not much. I don't have another question for you
Oh,
because I saw
oh,
a commercial, a random commercial for an MGM Plus. It's like, why is Amazon doing this? I mean, is it built into Prime? Is it part of Prime, or is it just something different?
I haven't even looked. It's not something that's crossed my mind. I didn't even know that was a thing. Honestly, I haven't seen
I
the
saw a
commercials
commercial for
for
it,
it.
and I was like, what the heck is this? And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah. I love.
that should be like integrated into Prime, right? Because it's like they own MGM. So
I love Prime. I think one of the things that they also need to get into more is the gaming side. Like if Amazon Prime could have more like a Game Pass type service fully, that could be pretty wild.
I mean, even
I
after Stadia.
well, that's the thing, right? Like Google tried to build both a platform and a device. Amazon
True.
may not need to have to do both. They might be able to build a platform that works on these other devices. Like I would like to see them get into another part of the business, getting into gaming. Very interested to see where that could go down the line. Maybe they have. I mean,
Yeah.
they're technically have
I mean,
they own Twitch, right?
they own Twitch. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Which
I
one
mean,
of them right
they
now?
bought Double Helix, right?
Yeah,
And they, as far as I know, that never, like, nothing, big came out of that. It's just like, hey, we own them. All right.
right.
Like nothing really happened there. So it's very strange. But yeah, not much going on my end. Like I said, over the weekend I was down, dude, and like didn't do anything. Um, watched The Last of Us, right? And I don't want I don't want to say that I want to tiptoe around it, right? Because I'm not, right? And we can agree to disagree with, well, what people think, whatever, right? I think, Joel, that this last episode of The Last of Us, which deviates quite a bit from the game, it's as a straight dude, right? It's probably one of the best pieces of storytelling that I've seen put to screen. It is outstandingly good. And I know that it's been controversial, right? And I'm sure you've seen like the news thing and what the episode's about, right? It is absolutely phenomenal. And again, as a as a straight dude, I cried, bro. I it was it was one of those moments that expands the storytelling from the game in such a way and such a clever way, and it's I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to go into it, right? I just got to go watch it. um but it's I wasn't expecting to feel the way I did while watching it, and I was just blown away. I was just blown away. It was it yeah. Yeah,
Do you
it's one of
think
those
the
things that you
show?
gotta
Do you
watch.
think the show is better than the game?
So
It's
far,
not done yet. It's not done yet, but
so
it
far,
seems like that's the reaction, right?
so
Which,
far, I want to say that. Yeah, it is.
because that's the funny part is it's almost like, and I don't think the game's a bad game at all.
Oh no, 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 no.
I've played it and I understand like
It's
it's
phenomenal.
high
So
quality stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like I'm
yeah,
not gonna
exactly.
debate that. But I think the common thing that everyone talks about with the game, they're not talking about the mechanics, they're not
It's
talking
the
about
story.
everyone talks about the story and the characters.
Yeah.
So this like if they would have messed up on a translation to live action, like this is probably one of the easiest handoffs you could have seen for a translation, generally
Yeah,
speaking.
I think
Especially you're
Uncharted.
talking about
I think
HBO being a great match too.
yeah. So the thing is, I think that Uncharted would have been an easier one
Mm,
because it's not as complex, right? This is a very emotionally charged story, which is probably harder to do than an action adventure sort of like, hey, let's Indiana Jones type of thing. And man, yeah, it's like so far it's better than the game.
that's interesting. That's interesting.
So yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
like so far I don't want to get ahead of myself, right? Because again, we're like probably not
Yeah.
even like this is like we're just
Right.
starting, right?
Too soon.
We're like hour 2 of the game right now, right?
Yeah.
And like there's still a lot coming. Um, but yeah, I want to point out because of the quote unquote controversy about this episode and I guess the content of the episode. Um, yeah, grow up, people. Grow up. It's 2023. Get with the program. Uh, you know, it's there are stories to be told, whether you like it or not, right? And I'm not gonna get too political, but we're in Florida, right? since and I
Yeah, I was
guess
like,
there's
tread lightly, man, tread
and there's
lightly.
no stories to be told here, I guess, right? Because of yeah. Um, but there are stories to be told, and very impactful stories, and I think that the way that this episode was handled was just masterful, and one of the best pieces of TV that I've seen, dude. Like I ca- oh, I can't say anything else. It's like
Wow.
it's like it was that good. It was again like all these emotions that there's like oh yeah this is gonna happen right. It's like a and but then the emotion behind it and Joel, the freaking acting on this show is top notch, man. Like Pedro Pascal, he doesn't have to talk. like, like, so in Mando, he has to talk to be able
The
to emote.
voice. Yeah.
It's totally different here, where he doesn't have to talk. And with a look, he'll tell you everything with just a look, right, or a nod, or so. Bro, it's so good. This it is. I think the casting is on point so far. We'll see where it goes, but um, yeah, watch it. Go watch it. Yeah, you were just telling me that you haven't watched it yet, and you're planning on binging it, but you need a breather in between episodes, man, because it's sometimes it's a little it's a little much. It's the way they're handling the story is just so well done, and um, I commend them to be able to actually tell the story this way. And like I said, this episode deviated from the game. That's part of the controversy, but I think that what they did was so good and so much more emotionally impactful than the way that it's presented in the game that it's just yeah, well, this is better. Right? So again, so far it's been in the game, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember when I was at MegaCon and gosh, I'm already forgetting the name. Troy Baker's. There you go. When he was talking and he was like, "Look, I've been on set, guys," and he's like, "This is something very special," and the stuff you would expect to hear somebody like say,
Yeah.
the right things. But there was the way he said it that I remember. He was like, "This is something special," and like he's like, "Give it a chance. It's not going to be the exact same thing, but it's not. It's something that's just so like really hard worked on. Like people work so hard on it that like you gotta give it a chance. You gotta see what they do with it, and like it's obviously Troy Baker is in the show, but regardless, interesting
Yeah.
to see where we are now. Like you said, it's still very early on,
Yeah.
but I
It's
just
early
thought that
on.
was an interesting just ask around playing the game versus there because this is the kind of conversations I think there are many other games that we should have had these discussions, like you just said, like Uncharted being
Yeah.
like I don't even like to talk about it because I feel sad because like I love Uncharted. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Like, but yeah, it's unfortunate that the movie did not live up to what I would like to have been. I don't think the movie itself is horrible,
No,
but
I thought it
it's
was fun.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's not. It's like an Uncharted fan
Again.
fiction. It's not Uncharted.
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying like direct adaptations, but what this has proven, like usually the conversation from Hollywood is like, well, we can't do it this way. It works well in the game, but it doesn't work well on live action.
So
Now we're saying the opposite, where they're actually saying we can do live action. Yes, there's deviations. Yes, there's Hollywood. Yes,
yeah.
there's stuff. But like it's still keeping to the spirit of what the thing is. You're not trying to take a franchise hostage by using the name, cast some checks, and then move on.
So I
Because
want.
people can tell the disingenuousness.
Oh, totally, totally. Now I'm wondering how Amazon's gonna tackle God of War
That's what I think. Yeah.
because I think God of War as as a storytelling piece, right? It's it's fantastic. Problem is that it's very isolated versus The Last of Us. That finding people and that connection is an integral part to the story. Where God of War is like, oh, you talk to these people, you go do this, talk to these people again, go do
Yeah.
this, and then you find this guy, and then kind of like the story, kind of like expands, and you get a lot of backstory. But
but they are doing it based on the 2018,
Correct, correct. Yeah, yeah.
game.
That's what I mean.
So
That's what I mean.
having
Yeah.
just the father and son alone, not the same as The
True.
Last of Us, where
True.
you
True.
have Joel and Ellie, but if you can get the fundamental of just them two together, instead of just a brute running around doing
Yeah.
stuff,
I,
you can humanize it.
I think Ragnarok they they really expanded the story in a way where it's probably easier to put in. But that first game is probably gonna be tough. That's gonna be a tough one, but we'll see. And then Horizon's getting a Netflix show.
Oh wow, yeah, I forgot that.
That should be fun. You know,
It's Netflix though, man. It's Netflix.
it's yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's hope it's good Netflix, not
I
let's hope
know.
it's Wednesday Netflix and not
I know. But Wednesday doesn't have to be riding on electric robot,
and the robot
creatures and
dinosaur.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. That's
Wednesday
true.
can just walk into a classroom and,
That's true.
hold a severed hand or something.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Bad Batch. Last week's episode, I went back, watched it, and you said something, and I was like, "Oh, I found something was really funny in this episode," and I was trying to look for it on purpose, and I didn't find it.
Oh
Maybe you just went
no.
like this, dude.
Dude, okay, okay. Now we talk spoilers, right? We talk
Spoilers.
spoilers.
Yeah, yeah,
Spoiler warning. Not this episode, the episode before.
yeah. Yep. Last
So
week.
specifically the scene where at the very end, right?
Okay.
When they show that Mel, right, the droid, is going out, he's going behind it, and they pan out, and she's trying to go, and then out of nowhere, just gets blasted. I was like, Filoni, you are crazy,
Oh.
bro.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You
Okay.
just destroyed this droid trying to waddle its
Yeah.
way away. That killed me, man.
Okay.
That
Okay.
messed
Okay.
me up. That red.
Okay.
I was like, we already know it's really not a kid show, but my gosh, man,
Yeah.
that is the
So.
kind of stuff that there's
Yeah.
gonna be some kid going, what happened to Mel?
Yeah, right. Yeah, last week was you know tried and true Filoni filler episode.
Yeah,
And it was entertaining, but to me it was not engaging. Right, I watched it and I was like, that's
it
fine.
changed Star Wars though.
Yeah, so it had some lore, like old lore, like sweaty lore there. That's true. That's true.
Comicbook.com wrote a whole article the second that episode dropped saying Star Wars has fundamentally changed. This is something that's going to need to be explored, something
Yeah,
that's older than the Jedi. We have not talked about
yeah.
this.
Maybe that's
Interesting.
something to do with the
Leslie Grace show? No,
well
Leslie Grace.
that
I mean the other one. Sorry.
well, the movie that Taika Waititi was supposedly working on that was before the Jedi.
It's true.
That could be part of it. So, or a leftover if that movie's even happening, right? So I don't know. This week's episode was really good.
Oh yeah.
That was a good episode. I do have one huge lore problem with it though. Let's see if you can pick out what it is.
I mean,
Right.
I'm
So we
assuming like a Wookiee being a Jedi, you might think it's
no
a little
no it was
off.
Gunji. Well, it
You go
was
that
like
Gunji,
Gunji in Clone Wars, right? So
right?
that was not the problem. Problem was, dude, that when after they found the encounter the Trandoshans the first time, and then the other Trandoshans and the clone troopers come in. I was like, look at these markings. It's a lightsaber marking, bro. Those clones would have called Vader right away, and
That's
Vader
true.
would have come down to Kashyyyk and burned the place down. So that's a huge problem that I have, right? Because the clones were programmed to let Sidious and Vader know where where Jedi was, and then I guess this is early enough where the Inquisitors weren't a thing yet. So, but Vader personally would go out and clean him out. So that's a big problem that I have with this episode. Other than that, I think it was a fun episode. It
Maybe
was
maybe
action packed.
Vader would be on his way.
Yeah,
Still could be.
I think so. So here's what I think, Joe. I don't wanna transition to it now. I wanna talk about our pals at WB first, but maybe this is something that Jedi Survivor will
Mhm.
will connect to, right? Because Cal Kestis went to Kashyyyk on Fallen Order, and found the tribe, maybe they're going to expand on Gunji on Survivor.
I would love to see more Gunji.
So yeah, it was good. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I think it was fun. So
Do you want to talk about the delay? The delay on
yeah, I mean, might as well just get it out of the way, right?
yeah.
So yeah, so Star Wars Survivor, Jedi Survivor. I found out again because I still don't have my Twitter. I don't have my no. I refuse to reinstall the app.
It's out of touch.
So so I found out because I got the email from Best Buy saying, "Hey, this was delayed until April 28th." It's like, oh wait, what? And then I went on Facebook and I saw it. I was like, oh, okay. Makes sense. I was like, and I'm fine. RE4 comes out in March. I'm good. So,
See,
yeah.
here's the thing. Like, I think Theory, I think he had a good point when he was saying like it's kind of weird, but it does feel like this is very much like a marketing thing. It doesn't feel like this is a polishing of the game. Like 5 weeks,
Mm,
how much time could you really need to polish that up, especially with shipping time? It almost feels like because they've done this before where let's not have Star Wars projects overlap. Let's have one Star Wars project finish and then let another one begin. So having it come out when Mando is being done, now you
oh,
have more Star Wars to hold you over later, and like it, and that's
yeah.
a theory
But,
from theory,
but
but one that makes sense.
yeah, I mean, if this is a call by Lucasfilm, I'm sure that Respawn's more than glad to take those 6 weeks and work on the game, right?
For sure.
So,
For sure.
so I'm sure that they can iron out bugs and not have it be like Fallen Order where like it was really buggy for a lot of people for a few weeks. And it could be enough. So, but that's good. I mean, delay's a delay, and it doesn't really bother me unless it's something more nefarious like what happened with Gotham Knights. So that to me was like a no confidence delay. Same with um the Suicide Squad. Those delays they don't bode well. I think that Suicide Squad game is gonna get delayed again because we haven't seen anything, dude. We haven't
I
seen any
know.
gameplay. So I think that game's gonna get pushed to like fall this year. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and I kind of made a joke last week about Starfield not coming out. That's not what I meant. This is that I don't think that Starfield is probably going to come out this year. I think Starfield's going to get pushed.
Predictions.
I think Starfield's going to get pushed to early, like January next year, more than likely. So yeah, Forza's coming. Like Forza's coming out. That's not going to be late because they didn't have one last year, so that's coming out for sure. But Joel's uh, noting down the predictions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know exactly what you're doing, sir.
So we can revisit this if anything goes on.
All right. Well, I guess since we're talking about predictions, sir, let's go to our segment. WB, what are you doing? All right, Joel. I guess something is happening at the WBs. What's going on?
Oh my goodness. Things are going down, guys and gals. We have news finally from James Gunn and Peter Safran on what is the next plans for the DC films. They laid out in a video and through multiple articles what they're referring to as Chapter One: Gods and Monsters, which would be their first phase, in essence, of DC now going into this new endeavor with them as co-CEOs. They had an event on, I want to say, what was that? That was on Monday, where they brought in a bunch of the press to kind of go through what the actual plan was, and then the press release plus the YouTube video went out the next day, where we actually got them, fully laying everything out what actually it is. So it was all under hush hush until the following day. So that's why you're seeing, if you watch the video from James Gunn going through the list of things, and then you were maybe on social media reading other things that were not mentioned in the video, like, where did that information come from? A lot had to do with from the actual press event that they held separately, where they answered questions from the media, so give some more direction.
Yeah.
Long story short, they are looking to have this confirmation of things we've heard before, but they are looking to have all of the DC films, television, animation, and gaming all be the connected universe. They do not want it to be spread out like it's been before. So no more of these, like, okay, you're playing like the Suicide Squad game, and then you're watching Young Justice, and then you're watching a Batman movie, and it all being three different things. Generally speaking,
So
that's the only thing of the past.
so they want to do the Star Wars.
They want to do the Star Wars fully, and in some ways not fully, but in some ways also, what Marvel has done with at least just the Disney Plus shows and,
Yeah.
the movies. But they're taking it further, like Star Wars, like you're saying, where the games are even canon, and animation.
Yeah, because the games exactly because Star Wars are canon. The
Clone
games
Wars is canon.
yeah, but the games are canon. But then on the Marvel end, we still get like Spider-Man that's like not canon, and we get the Wolverine game that's coming out, and some whatever Marvel versus Capcom if it happens
Right.
again, right? So
Right.
yeah,
So with that being said, then it leads you to, well, what about like movies like The Joker with Todd Phillips and Joaquin, and the movies like Matt Reeves' Batman? Those are going to be what they're referring to as Elseworlds. So the DC Elseworlds will be movies like that where they are standalone, they're their own stories, they're separate from their DC films and the continuity. Can be confusing for some people. To me, it makes sense. I think it's the right decision. I took it as we'll like Elseworlds will let those projects finish and may or may not do anything else with that kind of stuff and just focus on their DC films. From the film standpoint, and shows, they made a list of announcements. I'm just going to run through the names. Creature Commando, which is going to be an animated series on HBO Max. Then you've got Waller that will be coming out. This is going to be a live action series on HBO Max, led by Viola Davis. Then you've got the first film coming out, which will be the kickoff of the DC films, which is Superman Legacy. This film will be coming out till 2025, so really we won't see anything from that
probably next year.
2 years from now, or well, next year is like we'll start seeing some things come around. Um, then you've got your Lanterns, which is HBO Max live action series that will be coming out. Then you have The Authority that's going to be coming out to film. Then you've got Paradise Lost, which is a series on HBO Max. Brave and the Bold, which would be a live action movie with their Batman, separate from, obviously, we mentioned the Matt Reeves Batman. And then you've got your Booster Gold HBO Max series that will be coming out.
That's the
Followed
one.
by
That's the one that's kind of iffy for me, but
yeah, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This will be coming out as a live action film, and the Swamp Thing will also be a live action film, which they did say will be between. This was really weird if you watch the video, but it's between their Elseworlds, but also connected to their universe. Like it's going to be its own thing, but still connected.
okay.
All those announcements coming through. What's your thoughts on them, Obed?
I think the lineup is good, right? If they can pull it off, and they can, again, this all comes down to casting when it comes to, you know, we know Waller, right? That's done. But when it comes to getting Superman and Batman and the Lanterns and all that, it comes down to casting. I think it's a good lineup. And my understanding is that this is like starting 2025, right? And it's gonna be 2 movies and 2 shows a year for 3 years, right? And that's gonna be this lineup here that we got.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly what they said.
yeah. Um, so I think there's a good lineup. There's a good start, except for Booster Gold. I would have gone with I guess a more recognizable character. But, yeah. I hope they nail Superman. So, it's the only thing I can hope for, man, is that they nail Superman because it's been quite the ride for Soups. And speaking of Soups, right? You know what? Let's take a quick break, Joe, and we'll come back and talk about Superman.
Yep, stand by.
And we're back. So, yeah, speaking of Superman, when I guess James Gunn made it clear that Henry Cavill was not fired, he was not hired, right? So, meaning he wasn't under contract, and we didn't hire him again. That's basically what that means. Um, a bummer, right? I'm still hopeful that we'll see him in the future in some capacity. At this point, I think he's going to move on to other things, Bond maybe, and he's working with on a Warhammer show, and other things that he may do. So, yeah, it stinks, right? But if they want to take Superman in a new direction, I can totally see the reasoning behind it. So,
Yeah. So basically, like on the shorthand, it was said to me, and I agree with the sentiment that the announcements were not that different from things we've heard before. It kind of reminded me a little bit of some of the announcements we'd heard all the way from the AT&T merger call when there was some of these names being thrown around about as projects. Um, I do have a concern that's actually too much, too fast. Um, the positive is that they are taking a couple years right before we see the first film. The Creature Commandos may come out first. That may come out next year. James Gunn's written it. Apparently, it's done. They're probably right now searching for voice talent, if I had to imagine. It's very possible that actually will be the first kind of tease, which is how he referred to it as a tease to what's to come in the future of the DC films. Um, Waller will be then kind of that Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad, that Peacemaker kind of
yeah,
next season in essence, because they're going to carry some of the Peacemaker people over into her show.
yep,
And since he's going to be busy, working on, James Gunn's busy working on these other films, like this might be the way to kind of, hey, we'll have this show, but then still kind of keep the Peacemaker people into it. But then when you get to Superman Legacy being the first film, that's the right choice. That's the right way to start off your universe. I hope that's the kind of movie that is really awesome, but also spreads like true breadcrumbs for whatever the future is, whatever kind of villains or whatever kind of characters that may be coming in. I think Superman's a great place to do it. Let it be his movie, of course, but still have an opportunity, I think, to really get people back and excited about the future of the DC universe. Um, but when you start talking about like the Authority, and you start talking about like Booster Golds, like these are characters that people are not that excited for. They don't know who they are.
yeah,
It can go to one of two ways. This can be a Guardians of the Galaxy effect where people don't know who they are and then they fall in love with them and they love it. It's great. Or it could be the negative of like, this is not good. It's smart that they have in between characters that are legacy characters your Superman movie and your Batman movie, right? And then your Supergirl movie, which I think was awesome. Most people probably would have thought, okay, Superman gets a movie, Wonder Woman gets a movie, and then Batman gets a movie.
Yeah.
But instead, they say we're gonna have the Themyscira prequel, basically, to Wonder Woman show, and then have in the middle Supergirl having her own thing. I look forward to that. I wish they would keep the same actress that's been casted, and obviously I haven't seen her play the role
Okay.
yet for the Flash show, because it just something about it just feels weird that there's a comfort of saying Ezra Miller hasn't been fired and we'll just figure this thing out and may stick around.
So
But then you're gonna get rid of all these other people who have done zero wrong, who have been loyal to the franchise, acted their butts off, and then this person decides to go and steal and punch people in the face and choke a woman in the streets. And then you can well they're having problems, so we'll give them a chance. But someone like Michael Keaton doesn't get to come and do his Batman
Yeah.
Beyond, or someone like this actress here, doesn't get to play Supergirl. It's a little bizarre to me, but I will wait and see what
Yeah.
approach they go.
yeah, no, and the thing that he said about the Flash, that he said it's the best superhero movie he's ever seen.
Which is consistent with some of the things that we're hearing.
Yeah,
Like there's been many stories out there, people saying that test screenings happen for that thing, and it is amazing, supposedly. So, I mean, if everyone keeps saying it's amazing, this movie, it makes sense why it hasn't been canceled the way Batgirl was just.
yeah, and that's
Gone,
another
right?
one. That's another one that there was another. I don't remember if it was an executive or a former executive or something that said it was basically unwatchable.
Yeah, Saffron actually.
Was it
straight up
Saffron?
said it.
Okay.
Yeah, Saffron
Yeah.
said no. This was so bad that it was a bit. He said it would have been embarrassing how bad
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Which is also consistent with the things that was being
Yeah.
heard and said, that it was a glorified CW pilot.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of stinks for Brendan Fraser though. Like, now that he's back like in the zone, right?
I know,
And
right?
getting cut. So, maybe we can see him again on something. Right? He would make a good villain, like
For
the
real.
Mad Hatter or something like that, right?
Right.
But yeah, interesting stuff happening there. There's stuff happening, which is good. And we're hoping to change the meme if that's the case.
Yeah.
I think that Marvel realized that if they continued the way that they were going, they were gonna earn their own meme on all the time.
It was getting there.
It's gonna be a section
You ever
Marvel.
seen
what
the
are you doing?
She-Hulk face coming across the screen? It would have been all. I had ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm there with you.
I might be
So-
wearing my Marvel shirt, but I'm not cashing the checks, guys. I just want to
Not
see all
yet.
the movies do well and do great and make us happy and proud. That's all I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, not yet. You're right. So, but yeah, interesting stuff. Again, it's good that they're actually being transparent and coming out and telling us what the plan is, right? Because that's been the problem since the beginning. It's been, let's wing it. That's been the problem with DC. Snyder had a vision, which it came into fruition, right? It came, we were able to get the conclusion of his vision. But then after that, now we're getting like 1984 and Aquaman 2, and I don't know what's going on with that, right? So that's gonna be interesting when it comes to those movies. But yeah, looking forward to what they bring. Again, they gotta nail that casting.
I think
gotta-
Comic-Con's going to be real interesting, dude. I think Comic-Con, they have to show up because they've been hiding from the fans, and they got to pull out directors, maybe even some casting announcements.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yep. So we'll see. Joe, turns out that if you want to write Bowser's Challenge at Super Nintendo World, I guess Pac-Man can write it, right?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I haven't measured.
I'm gonna regret. I'm gonna
Okay.
regret saying that.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
I went to, let's see, when was the last ride? See, I have no problem getting in and out of Space Mountain. I think Space Mountain is pretty restrictive when it comes to space.
If you're
So
tall, I mean, there's many reasons.
yeah, if you're tall, if your legs are long, if you're fat, whatever, right? Whatever you be, right? Let's say what it is. Let's say it like it is, right? Um, I have no problems with Space Mountain. I don't. I really haven't had a problem with any ride at a major theme park, right? That said, when we went to Legoland, I did have problems with some of those rides.
Okay.
Those rides are built for more, more for kids and kind of that sort of thing. So that was a little bit of a problem, especially with one ride, specifically one ride out of all of them. Um, well, man, I want to say, what was it? Was it at SeaWorld? No, I didn't have a problem with SeaWorld last time we went to SeaWorld. So, yeah, I think I'll be fine. I think I'll be fine.
You've been on the at Universal. You've been on the what is it, Diagon Alley ride?
Yeah.
It's with Gringotts? Okay.
Yeah, Gringotts, yeah.
Um I won't get into it much, but like I literally witnessed someone get kicked off that ride because they could not
They couldn't fit.
close down. They could not, yeah, they didn't fit. They couldn't close down the actual strap, the bar that comes down individual.
It was tight, but not. But I didn't have a problem at
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
No, yeah. Like
Yeah.
I want, yeah, like that's, I don't want to, be insensitive, but I'm just saying I wit I witnessed
It's a
that
show on
and I
the
was like,
internet, Joel. You can get away with it.
it's on video, bro. I'm very
Hey, I can say the word. I can say the word fat. It's like just. Hey,
look,
I'm still
open.
I'm still under 270. I'm still good.
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my goodness. What is going on tonight? Um, we, we, but I say that to say, like, I've never actually seen like at Disney anyone like actually have a problem. And I've seen people from all kinds of appearances.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta be careful. At Disney,
Body
right?
types, Joe. Body types.
Yep. Different types of body types I've seen at Disney, and I've never actually witnessed anyone get turned away
No.
for anything or not be able to ride. I'm sure it's happened. I just never seen it.
Guardians
But at
was
Universal, I actually
Guardians
saw it.
was pretty tight.
Guardians was pretty tight.
It was good. No, it was good. I didn't
Remind
have
me
a problem with
to share something with you after we're offline.
it. Okay.
But
Yeah.
like like I've never actually seen it there, but at Universal I actually literally saw someone like, I'm sorry, it's not closing, you got to go.
Yeah.
And the walk of shame in front of everybody can't ride.
Like Fun Spot, I can ride the go karts at Fun Spot with my
That's
kid.
awesome. Yeah,
I
the
can
go-karts,
yeah. So and that's about the same size of this thing. So
So that's interesting that my point being is it's interesting that like is this because I'm not trying to get into, semantics, but like, is this because like the same layout that they have in Japan,
oh yeah,
versus what they have here in
there's no
America?
fat people in Japan. You're right.
Look, I'm not gonna say it. You said it. I'm not gonna say it. You said it. I'm just saying, like, is that a part of the carryover? It's exactly carbon copy of what they've got in
Dude,
Japan.
okay.
And that's a part of maybe like the American thing, where it's like, hey, there's a little bit of a difference here.
Time
I
out,
don't know.
time out, not to go on a tangent, right? I've been larger for most of my life. Well, 30 years, whatever, right? You know where you're going. Okay, I have no problem, dude. Was like, this is not about body positivity, right? I am overweight, and I know
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
And I can, wear freaking, Hugo Boss and look nice. I'm still fat, and that's my view on this whole body positivity thing. Because it's a if you are an overweight female, it's body positivity. But if you're a guy, then you're fat. That's the truth about it, right?
It's getting spicy tonight,
That's
man.
the reality about it, right? So I just want to bring it out there, right? It's I know I'm overweight, right? I'm looking at this cart. I think I'll be fine, because I'm looking at the pictures and the video and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'll be fine. I don't have a problem with
Yeah.
that. And again,
Yeah.
yeah, Green Gods, I didn't have a problem. Didn't have a problem with Transformers. Didn't have a problem with, I haven't had a problem. Didn't have a problem with Guardians.
Nice.
No, I don't have a problem with Space Mountain. And because Space Mountain, even when I came in as a kid, right? Like Space Mountain, and as a kid, I'm telling you, the first time I came to, went to Disney World, I was what, 13, I think, 12. Um, even back then, getting into Space Mountain was uncomfortable, and I guess I'll get just fine. So
Yeah. Nice.
this is
Nice.
not
That's
going
good.
to be a problem for me, at least, right? But
Yeah.
they
There
are
are some fans
recommending,
that will be.
yeah, they're recommending that if your waistline is not no longer than 40, it's not now, not
Jeez.
40 inches, then you will not be able to properly fit. Now, is this 40 round or is this 40 like across, right? It's like, because if it's round, I mean, I could vary depending on what kind of pants and how tight my belt is. But, if it's across, then I should be fine.
Oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble, man. Um, did you see? Did you see? Did you see with Tron how they have on the back of the ride an actual, like, it's
The
not, you won't be on a
chariot.
bike. The chariot. Oh my god.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good.
It's just saying. This is bad, man. This is bad.
And the show.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm
Subscribe.
sorry. But I was just saying that at Disney they have that for Tron. And like that's what I'm saying. Disney makes sure people get on that ride, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
But Universal,
This is
Universal don't
Disney.
care, man.
They don't have a shield. Yeah, they have no shield. Yeah.
Universal, their title is Universal, but I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Disney has always been very accommodating to everyone, right? Including the disability of being overweight. So, that they added the chariot to Tron. But Universal, they can get away with it. I remember when the Hogwarts ride opened,
Yeah.
and I was working because I was still working at Disney when they opened, right?
Hmm.
And we had people come in. It's like, oh, we went to the Harry Potter thing, and like my dad couldn't fit in the seat, and
Oh yeah, because it has to also lift people up.
yeah,
So
and there was like a lot of people complaining about, hey,
Mhm.
if you're like a certain size, you can't ride it. So you have people that are huge fans, Harry Potter fans, can't go in. That's a huge bummer. And I had one of my teammates. He said he went and he was tall. He was pretty tall guy, pretty chubby too, and he was like, yeah, I mean, it's like they let me in. It was tight, but I was good. But then I two or three groups like ahead of me, they wouldn't let like the woman ride it.
wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, and I mean it's been a thing at Universal for a while now. But I mean, if you can fit in a go kart, if you can fit in a go kart, you should be fine.
I hope so. I feel really bad. And look, I do not want to offend anybody out there listening or watching. You gotta be proud of yourself, and I don't want to make you feel bad like I'm mocking you. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at
Okay.
that.
Well, I can mock you because I'm large, so I'm good.
Obed can say what Obed wants to
Yeah,
say.
yeah. It's it's what it is. I mean, it's time that we recognize the two problem. It's like I'm not like I wish I would not just so not so much so I would look good, right? I wish I would lose weight just to be healthier. To get my blood pressure down,
Sure,
right?
sure, yeah.
That's the truth about it. But God gave us pizza, so
Nice, nice one.
we gotta oblige.
A pizza's a pizza. We've had that conversation.
Yeah, we had the conversation. Yep. All right, so PS5, PlayStation Plus collection is
Yeah.
being removed in May. So if you have not yet redeemed your 20 titles, Joe.
I'm sorry. Something else just came up across my screen. It wasn't what we were just talking about.
Okay.
Because I'm pulling up article and that's
Oh,
something
I
else.
thought it was a
Anyways,
comment or something.
no,
I
no,
thought
we're
we
good.
got canceled on YouTube.
Nope, nope. We're still out there, guys.
Okay. So
I
if you
swear, it was
have,
something else. Um, yeah,
yep,
PS5.
yep. If you have not redeemed the titles, you have until May of this year. I think the first one to go will be Persona 5 if it hasn't gone already. I thought it was gone already.
It's your game, man.
Yeah, I don't see it on the list. That means that it's gone already. Yep. So
That's your jam.
yeah, totally. Uh, Persona 4 Golden available everywhere now. Go and grab it. But one of the best games of all time. As PSA, every time I get to plug that game, I'll plug it.
That's yours, man. That's your
Yeah.
thing.
So yeah, some really good games here. If you haven't redeemed the collection, and anyone that owns a PS5 and has a PlayStation Plus standard subscription can redeem any of these games. Lists are out there. It's very good. I got to play a few of these games. Already like RE7. That's how I played it when I got the collection. The Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy. That played with that too. I totally forgot that Arkham Knight was on here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So, which by the way, I think there's like the Arkham collection is like $6 on
Oh, wow.
PSN right now, and you get
You get Origins?
no, you don't get Origins, but you
That's
get
the one I don't got.
yeah, you get Asylum City and Night with the DLC. So
I wish they would remaster Origins for PS5. I know it's like not a title that people would expect, but for people like me who never did it, kind of like how
I liked it.
like Assassin's Creed Rogue, how
Oh,
they
yeah,
put like
yeah.
Rogue on now like Switch or something. Like I really wish like I could play Origins on something more newer because I never got to play it.
Yeah. And that I mean I guess the best way to play that game is on PC, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
That game was good. It was buggy, but it was good.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a lot of people made it seem like it was inferior to City, and as a prequel, right? Is basically the same Arkham City map. It's just not abandoned. It's like the actual city, and conveniently there's a blizzard, so people can need to stay inside. So
Yeah.
it always happens in those Batman games.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's some really good games here.
I feel like some of that Origin stuff was around like the whole Rock, like because it wasn't Rocksteady. Like, oh no, it's not going to be good. Kind
Yeah,
of thing,
yeah, it was
too.
the guys
But-
that did Gotham Knights.
right.
So
Ooh,
that
okay.
is yeah, I don't blame them. I think the whole like trying to make the game like an online thing, kind of like Avengers, and you're not learning the lesson that Avengers taught them, and just
Yeah.
pushing through with that game, that kind of stinks. But yeah, you got God of War, The Last of Us remastered, Uncharted 4, Until Dawn, Ratchet and Clank, which with a PS4 game is incredible. If you can play it on PS5, it looks really really good too. So, Bloodborne for a masterpiece game, right? So you do have a lot of big games that are of high quality. Oh, did Joel freeze?
I'm still here.
Oh, you're there. Okay, I thought you froze, man.
I was
So-
too still for too long.
Yeah.
Um,
I can stand very still. Drax
my
over
Drax,
here.
yeah, my Drax impersonation.
But yeah, go and grab them. You have until May. Joel, any games here that do you think anyone should for sure need to grab?
Oh my goodness! Looking at this list, of course, I'm going to tell people to do Uncharted. Well, we just talked about Last of Us, God of War. That's probably going to be like gotta haves. We liked Arkham Knight. We just were talking about that stuff, right? I think it's great. Crash Bandicoot. Come on, man.
And Insane Trilogy looks really good on PS5.
Yeah.
Like if you put it on PS5, yeah.
You got it. It's good stuff. the other ones there, nice titles. I
Final Fantasy
know
15's there. It's one of my
Final
favorites of all
Fantasy.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
15's
Yeah.
rare, and it's a Royal Edition, so it includes everything except episode Arden. So, um,
Like they have
yeah,
titles in here that's like games that I wanted to try, like, but I don't never have time. Like Detroit Become Human. I'd like to try
yeah,
that at
yeah.
some point,
I agree with
but
you.
I just don't have the time to do it. But if I did, I would play it.
Yeah,
So
totally.
really, this is why we're saying pick it up, guys. If you got a PS5, there's no excuse for you not to be redeeming this stuff. You got to pull it before it gets taken off.
Yeah, for sure. And last bit of news that I have here, Joel, is that it is confirmed that Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo will not be part of E3 2023. Is E3 finally dead, Joel?
I mean, that's how. What are they gonna do? I mean, what's gonna happen there? The Ubisoft showcase,
Because third party
um,
showcases, yeah,
and Square Enix, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it gonna just become that kind of a place?
maybe.
I totally understand from like PlayStation's point of view.
I mean, they've been gone for
Their
for a few
events,
years now.
right? Their events that they've been doing on their own have been very successful. The state of play have been really solid. Nintendo, um, let's be real, even when they were there, it was basically just a showcase. It was just like the video showcase. It
Yeah.
wasn't, like a need to be in the room. Um,
Even the Switch got announced on like a February night. Like
right.
it didn't even. It wasn't even. It was like past prime time because I remember when the Switch got announced. Um, I was laying in bed. I was like actually like going to sleep, and that's when the announcement dropped for the Switch or the
Yeah.
reveal, right? And it was on like February or something. So
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, like I think that Nintendo makes it. The Microsoft's the only one that I don't know why you're not there. I don't
yeah,
like you
yeah,
like my only assumption is that their thought maybe because you know that these companies talk. They know what's going on a little bit behind. They've got spies in each other's companies. You know it. Come on. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, look, if we hear that Sony's not going to be there, Nintendo's not going to be there, why should we be there?
totally.
Like,
Yeah.
which is sad because like I mean we had our famous E3 PlayStation live stream we did years ago, dude.
Yeah.
That was a great time with you.
That's good. That's
Like,
good.
it is like an end of an era because like even if it happens, like, oh, but would you go to E3 now, like knowing that they're not gonna be
I
there?
would still go.
Okay.
I'll still go. Yeah.
What a loyalist. I like it.
I'm not a loyalist to the ESA, but you know, drop me anywhere where video games are at, and I'll be there. I'll hang
Oh
out.
my god.
So,
It's awesome.
um, yeah, man. Um, yeah. I mean, then Nintendo they can do their stuff on direct. They don't have to pay to be there, right? Sony's been gone for a few years now already, and they're gonna do their own presentation separate. And then Microsoft, I'm assuming that they're probably just gonna keep that Sunday and they'll do their own thing, and the whole bit, Microsoft slash Bethesda showcase, or slash whatever other studios they own now, and put that stuff out there. Um, and there's already rumors that there's a Nintendo Direct next week, right? So things are happening. They don't the console manufacturers, they don't have to be there, right? This is not the old console wars days, so they can do their own thing. And then I think this would be a great opportunity for third parties to shine and bring their own, you know, put out new properties, put out new games, sequels, anything out there, and they don't have to be under, hey, God of War 3 stole our thunder. Like they don't have to worry
Sure.
about any of that. The first parties dropping the big hitters, and and gives third party uh, developers a moment of shine. I think so.
I always had the dream, Obed. You and I, E3,
Yeah, man.
live inside a Nintendo panel, a Sony panel. Now that's just gonna be a dream, dude.
Yeah,
I think that's it. I mean,
that's past, sir.
yeah, that's a dream in the
We'll have
past.
to settle with hopefully going to see Otaku this year.
Yes, yes,
Hopefully we'll meet.
yes,
Hopefully we can make that one this year.
yes, sir.
So, all right, man. That's what I got. If you want to go ahead and close our final episode.
Oh my gosh, bro. It's all started with Pac-Man and went south. Um, well, thank you all so much for sticking with us. We do hope that you're around for the future of No Load Time. So make sure you subscribe to our podcast on podcast platforms of your choice, like Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, SoundCloud. Find us on your podcast platform of choice. Hit that subscribe button. Write us a review that helps us out by promoting the show. Where other people see your reviews, it helps bring attention to No Load Time and people be able to check us out. Like we mentioned in other episodes, we're not making a dollar from this. We just do this as a fun time, two guys hanging out. And, we're not asking you to send us any money. We're just asking you to support us by, hitting that subscribe button, by sharing these episodes with your friends and family. You can also follow us on social media at No Load Time, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And you can also follow us on Twitch, No Load Time Altogether. You can see these handles down below if you're watching on the video version. Also, last but not least, if you have a question, comment, or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And maybe, just maybe, we'll even talk about what you've mentioned on a future episode. Thank you so much. And we'll see you hopefully next week. We're still figuring out our schedule, but
Probably
we'll be
Friday.
back at some point. Probably Friday. Maybe.
Possibly. Thank you guys. Stay safe. Eat well. We'll see you again next time.